Welcome back to the channel. Today we're getting back into Neville Goddard's Feeling is the Secret. This is chapter 2, which is covering sleep and how to fall asleep, the proper way to fall asleep to impress the subconscious mind. That way you can start creating and manifesting great things to come into your world, and understanding that process of how this works and how your world is created and how it's a hologram. Your 3D world's a hologram and you cannot change on the outside. If there's something in your world you would like to change, you have to go within yourself and make the proper changes while falling asleep, while impressing the subconscious mind. And once you do that, the subconscious mind will then express a new version of yourself, a new version of your world that you fell asleep with. And this will be programmed to actually take place in your 3D world, depending on what you fall asleep with. So that's what we're going to cover in this chapter. And this is a really good chapter. So pay close attention, take some notes, because you're going to learn a lot with this video. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. This is chapter 2, Sleep, Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. Sleep, the life that occupies 1/3 of our stay on Earth, is the natural door into the subconscious. So it is with sleep that we are now concerned. The conscious 2/3 of our life on Earth is measured by the degree of attention we give sleep. Our understanding of and delight in what sleep has to bestow will cause us, night after night, to set out for it as though we were keeping an appointment with a lover. And once you understand the importance of impressing the subconscious mind and understanding that your feelings are creating your life based on what you fall asleep with and the impressions that you make, then you will look and have a close relationship with sleep. You'll start looking at it completely different. Like my grandfather used to do that. He used to prepare hours ahead of time and have this huge smile on his face, and he's so happy to be meeting his subconscious lover, having that appointment with the subconscious while he's going to sleep. Like he's looking forward to it, he's getting happy, he's getting in this good feeling as he's about to go to sleep and creating that, and then that dovetails and then creates great things to come into your life the following day. Then he wakes up, happy. He would always wake up happy, go to sleep happy, and continue to manifest great things in his life. Just doing these things, not even visualizing anything, not affirming anything, just falling asleep with gratitude and appreciation, meeting your subconscious lover with gratitude and appreciation for that, and having that relationship as if the subconscious was your lover. You're setting that appointment with your lover. And I love how the Bible in Job 33 was pointing this out to us. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumbering upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instructions. That's Job 33. It is in sleep and in prayer, a state akin to sleep, that man enters the subconscious to make his impressions and receive his instructions. In these states, the conscious and subconscious are creatively joined. The male and female become one flesh. Sleep is the time when the male or conscious mind turns from the world of sense to seek its lover or subconscious self. So sleep is the time where you make your impressions and the subconscious receives your instructions, basically from everything that you've gathered throughout the day, all the feelings, all the ideas, everything you believe and consent to be true in your world. You're impressing that into the subconscious and giving those instructions to the subconscious when the male and female aspects become one, when the conscious and the subconscious become one flesh. And the subconscious, unlike the woman of the world who marries her husband to change him, has no desire to change the conscious waking state, but loves it as it is and faithfully reproduces its likeness in the outer world of form. So the subconscious is not trying to, it's impersonal. It's not trying to change you in any way. It's not trying to, it doesn't have that power to do that. The only power it has is to receive your instructions when you fall asleep and become one flesh with it. So that's like all the information and data that is collected throughout your day is all being led to that moment when you drift into unconsciousness, into the subconscious, into the drift, the state akin to sleep. And then you drift and connect and make one flesh with the subconscious. And then those ideas and everything is then expressed and creates your world, the world that you're going to wake up to the next day. And I love the language of this that Neville Goddard used right here. The conditions and events of your life are your children, formed from the molds of your subconscious impressions in sleep. They are made in the image and likeness of your innermost feeling, that they may reveal you to yourself. So you can look at this when you connect to your subconscious lover. It's like impregnating your children to be born into your world. Like you're creating children, impregnating the subconscious mind to create children that are going to be born into your world and expressed into your world and grow into your environment. So the conditions and events of your life are your children being created from the molds of your subconscious impressions in sleep. Just like it was stated here in Matthew 6:10 and Luke 11:2. As in heaven, so on earth. As in the subconscious, so on earth. So whatever you're impressing into the subconscious in sleep is going to be expressed on earth for you the following day, the following weeks, the following years. So whatever you have in consciousness as you go to sleep is the measure of your expression in the waking 2/3 of your life on earth. So nothing stops you from realizing your objective except your failure to feel that you are already that which you wish to be, or that you are already in possession of the thing sought or the thing that you want. Your subconscious gives form to your desires only when you feel your wish fulfilled. Your subconscious gives form to your desires only when you feel your wish fulfilled. That means your ideal or whatever you're searching for, or whatever you want to be, do, or have, you have to feel as if that's already happened. It's in the past. It's already happened. Now you already have those things, and what are you going to do after that? And that is when you're in your state of the wish or the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and you impress that in sleep. And that's why we're covering this chapter, sleep, and how important sleep is with your subconscious lover and making these impressions. And the unconsciousness of sleep is the normal state of the subconscious. So the subconscious lives in a state of sleep. That's its normal state. It doesn't take on an identity or a concept of itself. It's impersonal and non-selective. So because all these things come from within yourself, and your conception of yourself determines that which comes. So you should always feel the wish fulfilled before you drop off to sleep. So no matter what's going on in your life or how bad your day actually was, you need to go into meditation. You need to change those things, whether you're using revision, affirmations, doing a gratitude list, noticing all the good things in your life, and just changing your feeling states. Like if you're not feeling good, if there's all these things that you notice your mind is attached to right before you go to sleep and you're upset, don't go to sleep in that state. Change it, but do it in a playful way. Don't try to force yourself to not feel like, not to feel, pissed off or upset or fearful or jealous or whatever it is. Just change that by going into meditation and observing your thoughts, and then start noticing all the good things. Start shifting your mind to start seeing all the things that you have in your life rather than the things that you don't have, and not looking at the things that went bad today, but start noticing the things that went good today, or revise some of the bad things that happened in your day, and change them. Create a short movie clip in your mind where they actually went a different way. If you had something that didn't go the way that you wanted it to, change it, revise it, change it, and that'll change your inner dialogue. Your inner talking will change, and your mood will change from that, and you fall asleep with this new mood, this new good feeling mood, and impressing the subconscious mind with that, with a new feeling of a revised version of your day. And this is very important right here. You never draw out of the deep of yourself that which you want. You always draw out of the deep that which you are, which is your conception of yourself. And you are that which you feel yourself to be, as well as that which you feel as true of others. All right, so this part is really important. I want to break this down. There's 3 different parts here. Okay, so you never draw out of the deep of yourself that which you want, because if you're wanting something, that's you're demonstrating a lack of something when you impress the subconscious mind. So you're telling the subconscious mind that you don't have this thing. You're not in your wish fulfilled at that point, because you always draw out of the deep or the subconscious what you are, like your concept of yourself. When you're being something, then you're connected, you're aligned with the thing now that you want as already having it. When you change your concept of yourself, that is the person that has these things, and you have this identity of now being in alignment with these things, then you'll have them. And for the third part here, which may be the most important, I think a lot of people are confused about, where Neville Goddard says here that you also draw out of the subconscious that which you feel as true of others. So your world is you pushed out, okay? But in this regard, a lot of people get confused, because I recently came across someone that I was coaching, and they had someone do something very cruel to them. And they didn't understand why, because they're like, isn't the world me pushed out? I would never do that to someone, so why is that happening to me? And I explained to them that this is not how this works. The world is you pushed out, and that's based on your beliefs. This is based on your beliefs of the people in your world. Like what Neville Goddard says here, to be as well as that which you feel as true of others. So it may be something that's totally different. You just believe these things to be true of your world. And that's why these things are happening, because you believe they can happen in your world. So the world is you pushed out does not mean that everyone in your world is going to be like you. It's going to be all based on your beliefs of everyone in your world, and based on your conception of yourself and who you are, who is your identity when you actually impress the subconscious mind. That's what your world is that's what your environment is going to be based on. And I wanted to point this out because Neville Goddard talks about this right here. What you feel as true of others is based on your beliefs of others in your world. So if you believe you live in a chaotic, horrible world, everyone's a scammer, then that's the world you're going to be living in. But sometimes these beliefs can be very deep-seated, and you have to try to overcome them with different revision tactics. There's a lot of different exercises you can do to start doing these, but you need to pinpoint the ones that are causing it. Like you can go back into your past and try to find out, if where you got these beliefs from, where they originated from. What these beliefs that you have, was it from a movie, or was it something that happened to you? And once you determine where they originated, you can go back and revise the scene, like change it. Like if you got scammed or ripped off, or someone did something cruel to you, you can go back and change that scene, revise it, and create like a 10-second movie clip and change the way it happened. And that'll impress the subconscious mind with what you consent to be true of others in your world. And then you'll shift to a world where now your beliefs have changed towards other people, and you'll start attracting different people into your world that are not this way, these cruel. So if somebody's doing something cruel to you, it's because it's based on your beliefs of those people. But it's not based on who you are. Like if people are doing cruel things to you, don't ask yourself that question. Well, I'm not this way. Am I attracting people that are just like me? It doesn't work like that. It works based on your beliefs, what you believe to be true of everyone else in your world, of others in your world. What do you believe about your world? So that's everything that's creating your environment or your world right now, is what you're falling asleep with that, your concept of yourself, and what you believe and consent to be true of your world and everyone in it. All right, so here's where Neville continues about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Okay, so to be realized then, the wish must be resolved into the feeling of being or having or witnessing the state sought. This is accomplished by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the feeling which comes in response to the question, how would I feel were my wish realized right now? How would I feel were my wish This is a really good way to create a feeling state, is it by asking yourself this question. A lot of my meditations, I have questions like this as you're falling asleep. How would you feel were your wish realized? You can get really specific with these things. Get very specific about these questions, and then create a feeling state. Ask yourself multiple times. And then meditate on the feeling, capture the feeling, hold that feeling, and, effortlessly, of course. And then once you create that feeling, then you impress the subconscious mind when it becomes habitual, like you build that momentum with that feeling. And this is the feeling which should monopolize and immobilize your attention as you relax into sleep. You must be in the consciousness of being or having that which you want to be or to have before you drop off to sleep. Once asleep, you have no freedom of choice. Your entire slumber is dominated by your last waking concept of self. And this is really important right here, because once you drift into the unconsciousness, into the subconscious, you no longer have control now. Now you become one flesh with the subconscious. So now you're in a sleep-like state where you're no longer in control of your feelings. But the last feeling that you had is going to dominate your feeling state while you're unconscious. It's going to change your dreams, your feeling states, everything. So the subconscious is then developing this feeling state now that you have connected and impressed the subconscious mind with. And then it's going to be demonstrated, then expressed. When you wake up the following day, your environment can drastically change, like immediately. So it follows, therefore, that you should always assume the feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction before you go to sleep. Just like it was stated in Psalms 95:2, come before me with singing and thanksgiving. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, into his courts with praise. Psalms 104. Your mood prior to sleep defines your state of consciousness as you enter into the presence of your everlasting lover, the subconscious. The subconscious, or she, sees you exactly as you feel yourself to be. If, as you prepare for sleep, you assume and maintain the consciousness of success by feeling, I am successful, you must be successful. Lie flat on your back with your head on a level with your body. Feel as you would were you in possession of your wish, and quietly relax into unconsciousness. Quietly relax into unconsciousness as you feel yourself in possession of your wish as an accomplished fact. He that keepeth Israel shall neither sleep nor slumber. Psalms 121:4. Nevertheless, he giveth his beloved sleep. Psalms 127:2. The subconscious never sleeps. Sleep is the door through which the conscious, waking mind passes to be creatively joined to the subconscious. Sleep conceals the creative act, while the objective world reveals it. In sleep, man impresses the subconscious with his conception of himself. What more beautiful description of this romance of the conscious and subconscious is there than is told in the Song of Solomon? By night on my bed I sought him whom my soul loveth. Chapter 3, verse 1. I found him whom my soul loveth. I held him, and I not let him go, until I had brought him into my mother's house and into the chamber of her that conceived me. Chapter 3, verse 4. Preparing to sleep, you feel yourself into the state of the answered wish, and then relax into unconsciousness. Your realized wish is he whom you seek. By night on your bed, you seek the feeling of the wish fulfilled, that you may take it with you into the chamber of her that conceived you, into sleep, or the subconscious which gave you form, that this wish also may be given expression. This is the way to discover and conduct your wishes into the subconscious. Feel yourself in the state of the realized wish and quietly drop off to sleep. Night after night, you should assume the feeling of being, having, and witnessing that which you seek to be, possess, and see manifested in your world. Never go to sleep feeling discouraged or dissatisfied. Never sleep in the consciousness of failure. Your subconscious, whose natural state is sleep, sees you as you believe yourself to be. Your subconscious, whose natural state is sleep, sees you as you believe yourself to be, and whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, the subconscious will faithfully create and embody that belief. As you feel, so do you impress her, and she, the perfect lover, gives form to these impressions and outpictures and creates them as the children of her beloved. Thou art all fair, my love, there is no spot in thee. Song of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 7. This is the attitude of mind to adopt before dropping off to sleep. Thou art all fair, my love, there is no spot in thee. And you can do this by disregarding appearances and feel that things are as you wish them to be. For he calleth things that are not seen as though they were, and the unseen become seen. Romans chapter 4, verse 17. To assume the feeling of satisfaction is to call conditions into being which will mirror that satisfaction. Signs follow, they do not precede. Proof that you are will follow the consciousness that you are. It will not precede it. You are an eternal dreamer dreaming non-eternal dreams. Your dreams take form as you assume the feeling of their reality. Do not limit yourself to the past, because you have the opportunity to change those things with revision, even using affirmations. Use revision, go back to the past. If you know where you're going and the belief that you have of others in your world, you can always go back and change it, or change yourself. Forgive yourself, revise it. Revision results in repeal and forgiveness. So when you revise a scene, that is the equivalent to forgiveness, for forgiving yourself for doing something. Revise it, do it differently this time, and you'll be instantly healed from that. So do not limit yourself to the past. Knowing that nothing is impossible to consciousness, begin to imagine states beyond the experiences of the past. Whatever the mind of man can imagine, man can realize. All objective or visible states were first invisible states or subjective, and you called them into visible by assuming the feeling of their reality. So it's kind of like, another example is this: seeing your goal being finished. Like whatever you're trying to create in your world, you can do this and train your mind to do it. Always see the end. Like if you have a goal where you want to make $10 million this year, and you know like exactly what the end is going to look like, and what you have to create, and what's going to be surrounded by that creation. You can go past all that and look in the end and feel it and create that scene. And then as you take that feeling and assuming that you already have that, you'll be in alignment. You'll now be connected in that frequency or that feeling state, and you'll be led to it. Like once you're in alignment, you're going to be taking action, but it's going to be effortless action. And you'll find that you'll just start doing things. You start creating, you'll start doing this, you'll start, doing that. And people start coming to you, talking about it, opening doors, allowing you to get in, doing all these different things that lead you to that event. But you train your mind to do this during the day as well. You can do this during the day as well by training your mind to always see the end result in everything that you're doing all day long, no matter what it is, something big or small, it doesn't matter. You train your mind, and always it'll automatically start doing this. Once you build momentum, you'll start seeing everything in the end. Boom, the end. Everything you do, boom, the end, the end, the end. And then you find yourself in alignment in everything you do. You're able to accomplish all these tasks because your mind is now trained to live in the end all the time. So it's not always going to be a battle with forcing yourself to live in the end. Once you build enough momentum and you start doing this automatically, like riding a bike, you ride the bike every day. After a couple of weeks, you got it. You can just jump on the bike and you ride, down the street when you're a kid, and you don't even remember riding there because it's automatic at that point. You build the momentum, and then it becomes automatic, and you can do that with your mind. When you start seeing the end result in everything that you do, you build that momentum, and then it automatically takes place in your world. So kind of like it says right here, the creative process is first imagining, picturing it. Picture your goal being completed, and then believing the state imagined. Once you're living in the end, you train your mind to live in that end scene, or that the goal is finished. Then you're tricking the subconscious mind to believe that you're now in that state of it being finished, and you're believing in that state with that goal being completed. And you always imagine and expect the best. Of course, you always imagine and expect the best for everything, and train your mind to think in that positive way. And that's what positive thinking is. And this is really good right here. The world cannot change until you change your conception of it. So what is your conception of your world right now? So that is the world that you're living in. Like what he says before, what you believe and consent to be true of yourself and others in your world is your environment. So that is your world. And how do you feel about that world that you believe to be true? Do you want that? You can change that, because that's what your conception of your world is. So that's what it's going to be like. That's what you're creating. As within, so without. Right here, it says it. Okay, so nations as well as people are only what you believe them to be. Right, he goes back into this. I like this. Okay, so no matter what the problem is, no matter where it is, no matter whom it concerns, you have no one to change but yourself. And you have neither opponent nor helper in bringing about the change within yourself. You have nothing to do but convince yourself of the truth of that which you desire to see manifested. I love this because this is true. All you have to do is go within and change your beliefs and what your conception is of your world and yourself, and that will change your outside world. That's all you need to do. So you have no one to change but yourself, and you have neither opponent nor helper in bringing about the change within yourself. You have to do the work yourself. Fall asleep with a different version of yourself. Believe that you're living in a different world. If you don't like the way your world is, create a new one in your imagination, or with an affirmation, or script it. Create a new feeling, whatever works best for you. Create that new feeling state and keep doing it. Persist in that night after night, till you start seeing changes in your world. As soon as you succeed in convincing yourself of the reality of the state sought, results follow to confirm your fixed belief. You never suggest to another the state which you desire to see him express. So you never tell somebody, like if there's someone that's being cruel to you in your world, you don't go tell them they're being cruel. You need to change. You don't do that, because it's an expression from inside of you that you've impressed and attracted that person into your world. So once you change that person will no longer be in alignment with you in your world anymore. They will no longer be there. They'll go somewhere else. They'll be around someone else that has those beliefs that you no longer have now. So you can get rid of these people in your life that are hurting you, by changing with yourself within. You don't tell them that they're making mistakes and they need to change. You just need to change yourself within, and then you'll shift to a different reality where they can't even enter that world anymore. Or you can do this right here, what Neville Goddard says. Or instead, you convince yourself that this person is already that which you desire them to be. So if you want to see that change within them, start seeing that mental picture in your mind of this person being, somebody different. That'll either change that person internally from you projecting, a new version of that person, or the subconscious mind expressing a new version of that person because of your fixed beliefs that have changed. Or it'll get rid of that person and you have someone else come into your world that is in alignment with your beliefs now when you change all of this. And realization of your wish is accomplished by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You cannot fail unless you fail to convince yourself of the reality of your wish. A change of belief is confirmed by a change of expression from the subconscious mind. Every night, as you drop off to sleep, feel satisfied and spotless. For your subjective lover always forms the objective world in the image and likeness of your conception of it, the conception defined by your feeling. Okay, so your world is expressed by the subconscious mind by your conception of it. And you can change that by dropping off to sleep every night, feeling satisfied and spotless. For your subjective lover always forms that objective world that you feel to be true as you drift to sleep. Okay, so the waking 2/3 of your life on earth ever corroborates or bears witness to your subconscious impressions. The actions and events of the day are effects, they are not causes. Free will is only freedom of choice. So take control of the choices that you make when it's based on your beliefs of your world and how you can change that. Make the choice of looking at your world differently, and changing your thoughts, changing, this idea that everything is fixed and you have to fix it from the 3D reality on the outside. But really, you got to go inside to change this. And it's all based on what you're falling asleep with. So make that choice to capture a feeling state as you're drifting to sleep and persist in this night after night and change your world from within, because that's the only way you're going to change the world on the outside is by what you fall asleep with, by changing your world and your beliefs of that and imagining your wish fulfilled as you go to sleep at night. What world do you want to be living in? Who do you want to be? And live in that world and be that person as you're drifting to sleep. You may not get it the first night, but do it night after night. Keep doing it. Keep practicing. Keep doing it every single night. Practice it just maybe for 10, 15 minutes, even 5 minutes if that's all you have. But work on it. Do it night after night. Start falling asleep in the world you want to live in and being the person that you want to be and having the things that you want to have. And what would that feel like? And then fall asleep with that. So choose ye this day whom ye will serve. Joshua 24:15 is your freedom to choose the kind of mood you assume. So you have that choice, to choose the mood that you're going to fall asleep with. But the expression of the mood is the secret of the subconscious. So subconscious is what gives it form, your moods. You don't give your moods form. All you do is make the choice that you're going to feel this way as you fall asleep, and then the subconscious mind is then going to express that for you. So the subconscious receives impressions only through the feelings of man, and in a way known only to itself, gives these impressions form and expression. The actions of man are determined by his subconscious impressions. The actions of man are determined by his subconscious impressions. So what they're saying here, who are you when you fall asleep? Are you, a successful, hardworking person with purpose that is driven and fulfilled? And if you fall asleep with that, then your actions are going to be based on that from the subconscious impressions that you just made. And that's really what free will is. Like, you don't have any free will to act in the outside world, the 3D world. You only have free will to make a choice on a feeling state that you have and impressing that within the subconscious mind. And then the subconscious mind is then impressing you and putting you in alignment and changing the version of you to take action. So you can't just take action and change your personality without first going within yourself. You don't have free will to act in the 3D world without first impressing the subconscious mind with the new version of yourself, and then that is expressed into the 3D world. And that's what this whole free will thing is about, is you don't have free will to act in the 3D world without first making an impression on the subconscious mind, and then that being expressed and then creating a new version of you, and then you're acting automatically at that point in your 3D world to be that person that you impress the subconscious mind with. So that's the only free will that you actually have, and that's what Neville Goddard gets into right here. So his illusion of free will, his belief in freedom of action, is but ignorance of the causes which make him act. He thinks himself free because he has forgotten the link between himself and the event. So you're not going to really remember things. You're going to be acting automatically. You're going to be acting automatically once you create a new feeling state of a new identity, a new personality, and then you fall asleep with that with the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is going to express that into you and change the version of you that you fell asleep with. So you're going to be like a different person. If you persist in this overnight, you're automatically going to be this person that's fulfilled, driven, and making all this money, having great relationships, because that's the person you fell asleep with. But you don't have free will to go get all those things without first going within yourself and changing that, and then impressing that with the subconscious mind. And then it all becomes automatic after that, because once you're impressed, you're in alignment with that, and that's just your being. So you're not going to feel like super excited about it. This is going to be your natural state of acting automatically. This is going to be a normal state to have good relationships, to be making, $100,000 a month, to be doing these things, all these things. It's going to be a natural state to you because you made the choice of free will by changing your internal dialogue and changing your moods as you were falling asleep and creating this new version of yourself, and then that being expressed in your 3D world. And it's kind of like what Neville Goddard says right here. I love this. Man awake is under compulsion to express his subconscious impressions. So you will be in alignment and you'll be forced to do it, but it'll be effortless. It'll be a natural state to you, but you'll be under compulsion to express that new version of yourself that you have impressed to the subconscious mind. And then you'll wake up one day, once you've done it properly, and you'll just be acting under compulsion. And it'll be automatic. It'll be effortless. It'll be you. It'll be your being, and you'll just be, this new version of you, and you won't even remember how it all happened. You'll look back and you'll wonder who you were before. You just think that you were a sleepwalker when you look back and look at yourself before that. You'd be like, oh, I was just a sleepwalker, but now I'm awake, so you'll be under compulsion to express the subconscious impression. So if in the past he unwisely impressed himself, then let him begin to change his thought and feeling. So it doesn't matter if you're in a bad state right now. All that means is that you have unwisely impressed yourself upon the subconscious mind with a lower form version of your true self. So you can change that at any point by changing your moods, changing your thoughts, changing your feelings, and impressing that. So for only as he does so will he change his world. You can only change your world this way because you have no other free will to act but change your feeling states and your thoughts. So do not waste one moment in regret, for to think feelingly or of the mistakes of the past is to reinfect yourself. Let the dead bury the dead, Matthew 8:22, Luke 9:60. Turn from appearances and assume the feeling that would be yours were you already the one you wish to be. So disregard your 3D world. Disregard appearances and assume the feeling that everything went perfectly for you all the time. So if something goes wrong in your life, disregard that. Know that it's not real, because the 3D world is just artificial. It's a hologram. So if you see something that you don't like, don't be inwardly affected by that, because then you're just recreating that for the future. Change it, be like, just look at it for what it is. When it happens to you in the 3D world, this is just a hologram, that this is something that I wrote and produced yesterday because I didn't fall asleep in the right feeling state. So this is why this was created. I'm not reacting. I'm not becoming emotionally charged about it, but it's something I'm going to fix tonight when I go to sleep. So look at it that way. Disregard, turn from appearances and assume the feeling that would be yours were you already in the, the one that you wish to be. All right. So feeling a state produces that state. So feeling a state produces that state. The part you play on the world stage is determined by your conception of yourself. The part you play on the world's stage in the world, the part you play, the person you are, the life you're living on this planet, on planet Earth, is determined by your conception of yourself. So by feeling your wish fulfilled and quietly relaxing into sleep, you cast yourself into a star role to be played on Earth tomorrow. And while asleep, you are rehearsed and instructed in your part. So essentially what Neville Goddard is saying here, and what's going to happen when you impress the subconscious mind with a new version of yourself or something you want to do, be, or have, or your world has just changed, what's going to happen is the subconscious mind, when it feels that, is going to rehearse and instruct you in that part. So it's going to download the information into your mind, and you're going to know exactly what to do the next day or whenever it's fully, expressed inside of you when you haven't done a full impression into the subconscious mind. It's going to download all this new information in your mind. You have all these new abilities or whatever you have to go through in your 3D world. It's going to send you through different experiences in your 3D world. It's going to send you, or it's going to program you to do certain things or go through certain trials and tribulations, or it's going to download all this new information where you're going to be able to just do all these things and create, that life that you have visualized, that you felt when you impressed it. So whatever you're creating, that's going to be downloaded inside of you, in your mind. The subconscious mind is going to download a new version inside your brain, basically, and then you're going to know exactly what to do. And you're going to go through certain things that maybe have to build you up in order to get there, because if you fall asleep making, a couple $100,000 a month, but now you're making, $2,000 a month, you may have to go through some things and learn some other things and then go through these trials and tribulations and go through some failures in order to develop yourself, in order to be that person. So it may be something you have to go through, but the subconscious mind is going to make that happen. So be careful what you impress the subconscious mind with, because sometimes you'll have to go through a lot to get there, but you're going to get there. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, absolutely going to happen once you impress the subconscious mind with something, whatever feeling that is, and you fall asleep as if it's already done. you're going to go there. It's going to send you exactly on that path to whatever needs to happen in order for you to get there. But you're going to get there. It's going to happen. All right, so the acceptance of the end automatically wills the means of realization. Make no mistake about this. If as you prepare for sleep, you do not consciously feel yourself into the state of the answered wish, then you will take with you into the chamber of her who conceived you the sum total of the reactions and feelings of the waking day. And while asleep, you will be instructed in the manner in which they will be expressed tomorrow. You will rise believing that you are a free agent, not realizing that every action and event of the day is predetermined by your concept of yourself as you fell asleep. Your only freedom then is your freedom of reaction. You are free to choose how you feel and react to the day's drama, but the drama, the actions, events, and circumstances of the day have already been determined. So they've already been determined by what you're falling asleep with and impressing the subconscious mind with. You don't have that freedom of choice anymore. The only thing you have freedom of choice over is what you react to, the events that you encounter throughout the day. But the day before, when you fell asleep, is when you're writing and producing the movie for tomorrow. Your world tomorrow is being produced, written today. So if something happens tomorrow, you have the choice of reacting or not reacting, but you don't have any other choice to change the events that are going to happen besides what you fell asleep with the night before. So unless you consciously and purposely define the attitude of mind with which you go to sleep, you unconsciously go to sleep in the composite attitude of mind made up of all the feelings and reactions of the day. Every reaction makes a subconscious impression, and unless counteracted by an opposite and more dominant feeling, is the cause of future action. So the more you react to negative things in your life, the more that's going to cause future action by you that's going to create more of the same negative things to come back into your life. Those things that you're reacting to and becoming emotionally charged about in those events today are being recreated tomorrow because you're rehearsing yourself today with the subconscious mind for tomorrow. So don't react to those things. Don't become emotionally charged about anything you don't want to be recreated in your world. So if something comes into your world that you absolutely hate or don't like, don't become upset about it. Don't react to that. Don't become emotionally charged about that unless you want that to happen tomorrow again. So if something happens in your life you don't like, you could stop it right now by not reacting to it. But fix your mind on something else. Find a solution for it. Look at it in a completely different manner. Change your perception of it, for growth or something, or focus your attention on something completely different. Or focus in your mind, say, okay, this happened today. So I wrote this script yesterday for what's happening to me now. This event's happening to me now because I wrote the script yesterday. So tonight I'm going to fall asleep and I'm going to change it. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to make sure that I do this right tonight. And then that's what you're focused on when something negative happens to you. Instead of reacting emotionally charged like, oh, this person did this to me, and that happened, and I'm upset about this. I can't believe that bill came in, whatever it is. You wrote that script yesterday, so don't blame anyone but yourself. And you have to go within yourself to change it and know that. Impress the subconscious mind again. Try again. That's all that means, and you will get it. Ideas enveloped in feeling are creative actions. Use your divine right wisely. Through your ability to think and feel, you have dominion over all creation. Through your ability to think and feel, you have dominion over all creation. So you have the ability to observe your thoughts, to see them, to watch your brain and know that you are not your thoughts and you are not your brain. So you have that ability that animals don't have. Animals don't have this ability to look at themselves outside and see their thoughts and say, wait a minute, I can change that. That's not me. Okay, my brain is not me. My thoughts are not me. So I can change that. I don't have to feel that way about this. I don't have to do that. I can change my feeling states. I can do this, and you can think outside of yourself and wake up. Animals don't have that. So you have dominion over all creation, and it was designed that way. So while you are awake, you are a gardener selecting seed for your garden, but except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it bideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. John 12:24. Your conception of yourself as you fall asleep is the seed you drop into the ground of the subconscious. Dropping off to sleep feeling satisfied and happy compels conditions and events to appear in your world which confirm these attitudes of mind. So your conception of yourself as you fall asleep is the seed you drop into the ground of the subconscious. So you need to fall asleep feeling satisfied and happy. And this will cause conditions and events to appear in your world which confirm those attitudes of mind, which are happy and satisfied. Everyone wants to feel happy and satisfied. So whatever feeling that you want to habitually feel during the day, and those events in your life that you want to happen, find that feeling before you go to sleep, which would be satisfied, happy, abundant, prosperous, all these things. Loved. Create that feeling. How would you feel if you were loved right now? Completely loved, happy, satisfied, content, abundant, prosperous. What's that feeling? What's that feel like? Fall asleep with it. Sleep is the door into heaven. What you take in as a feeling, you bring out as a condition, action, or object in space. So sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So what you take into the feeling, you bring out as a condition, action, or so you're writing that script. So sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and you're writing a great script for tomorrow, for your movie tomorrow. All right, that's the end of this video. So in the next chapter is 3, which is prayer, which is a really good chapter we'll be getting into next. All right, that's the end of this video. I love you guys. And don't forget to be one thing you guys are grateful for. Any content you want me to cover in the future, just leave that in the column box below, and I'll put up a sleep meditation on the screen. Click that, use that before you go to sleep to help you create this satisfied, powerful feeling state, happy feeling state as you're drifting asleep, to start impressing the subconscious mind with a different version of yourself and a different version of your world. All right, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.